Alright, we're going to talk today about ways to implement flipped videos in your classroom. Okay, so I've got a spectrum up here going from simple to advanced. There's multiple ways to implement this. It's super easy to do. Any teacher can do it. And so I just want you to be aware of ways that you could implement this in your class. I'd like to challenge you to at least one time implement a flipped video into one of your lessons and see how it goes. You may be surprised by the results. Okay, so just the idea behind flipped video, real quick, all it is providing some form of direct instruction outside of the classroom using technology. That's it. So if you're providing instruction outside the classroom through technology and it's direct instruction, then that's a flipped video. It's as easy as that. So let's start with like a really simple way that you could implement this year. That's as easy as just plain and simple assign a video, one video for your students to watch. So assign video. Okay, and it doesn't have to be a video you create. It could be a video you find on the internet. For biology, it could, if you're teaching transcription, there's tons of YouTube videos on transcription. Just say, hey kids, here's a URL. Go home tonight. Watch the video. Pay attention to the video. Take notes. Come ready with questions and be ready to discuss what you saw in the video and what you think and what you learned from the process of the video. For history, it could be, hey, go watch this like short little YouTube clip on protests in Vietnam. For math, it could be, hey, there's this manipulative video that really explains division of fractions and makes so much sense. If you'll go home, watch this video, come back and ready. English, it could be, hey, look at this poet and what he's doing and how he's creating his art form, and let's try to emulate that. So I want you to go home and watch this video. So it could work for any subject. Band, it could be, hey, watch this dude play the trumpet. See how he manipulates the buttons. And for sports, it could be, hey, tomorrow we're going to do this new exercise called burpees. So I want you to watch this YouTube video. Here's a URL. Go home, watch it. Be ready. Tomorrow we're going to do some burpees, and I want you to have really good form. I want you to know why you're doing it, and I want you to know how to do it. It's really simple to do. So assign videos. Okay, so the next idea that we can implement, a little slightly more advanced, but really not. I mean, we're not going too deep here. Is to give your project instructions. You record yourself. So let's say project instructions. Okay. Now, why in the world would you want to give project instructions using a flipped video? Well, think about absent kids. You got kids that are absent, they miss the instructions. Think about if you're creating a pretty advanced project and you want your kids to actually see and hear and be able to experience how to create this, or parents. Parents are going to be involved and they're going to have questions, and you can only express so much, writing down instructions, and it would be so much more useful if you could just get all your parents up here. You could explain to them, hey, these are the things that you need. This is an example of what I want you and your child to be able to create. I want your child to create. Here are the supplies that they need. If you create a video and assign that to the kids and to the parents, say, look, I need y'all to watch this video. It's 5 minutes instruction on this big time project we're doing. It's going to be great for learning. Watch this video. Boom, you got to flip the video. So let's look at something else here. When students don't pass a test, a summative assessment, you have to reteach. So the problem with reteaching, if you have this gap in knowledge that you've noticed in a student, they failed to score an acceptable score of 70 or above, they failed the assessment, and you've got 10 or 12 kids, which could easily happen with a challenging exam. What do? Do you assign a tutorial for every single one of those kids and fill in those gaps? You're responsible as a teacher. You got to fill in those gaps. And that's a huge responsibility for us as teachers, and it's a logistical nightmare with 6 other classes, extracurricular activities, family activities, friendship activities, TV, internet, and all those things competing for your students after school, and they've been at school for 7 or 8 hours, and they don't want to be here anymore. How are you going to get all those 12 kids to come in and see you after school so you can reteach them? Typically, kids that don't pass in the first place are not your typical students that will come in after school anyways. It's tough to get them in. So let's make this easier. Let's reteach a lesson one time. Let's record it. Let's put it on the internet and say, hey, you didn't pass. Here are the gaps that I noticed. I want you to go home, watch this video, take notes. I want you to show up tomorrow with those notes, and let's have a quick 1-2 minute discussion where we go over the finer points of the gaps in your knowledge, and then let's retest and see how you did. And that's a much better way, much more efficient way of filling in those gaps by just doing a reteach video. You could do what we call a flipped classroom. Okay, and the flipped classroom is a little more advanced, and what you're going to do is you're going to try to provide the majority of your direct instruction outside of class at this point. So you're making videos or you're finding videos, and you are assigning those outside of class. The students are getting the bulk of their direct instruction outside of class because you're trying to free up more time in class for students to work and for you to be there to guide them on their work, because that's where they learn the best, or that's what research says at least. So that'd be the flipped classroom. Okay, and then last but not least, let's see here. You've got what we call flipped mastery. And flipped mastery means that you have your entire curriculum online, and the kids have access to it 24/7, and they work at their same speed, or at the speed that they need, and they have to master an objective or a lesson before they can move on to the next one. And so you'll have students working in all different parts. You can break it down to say, for 6 weeks we're going to do flipped mastery, and so I'll have everything online, and everything that you possibly can need to be successful in the classroom. All your assignments are available, all the videos are available. Work at your own speed, master lesson, just be ready, because we're having our summative assessment on this date. So you need everything done on this date. Those of y'all who finished early, we've got all these cool enrichment activities, and what we're trying to do is not have the best students and the worst students regress to a common mean. And what that looks like in data is that you have a pretty high passing number on the STAR exam, but not very high commended. And what that tells us is that we've got really brilliant students. That's not the problem. It's that we've had to, because of the numbers and logistics, you got 30 students. You can't meet all their needs. It's really hard to do. So we regress to the mean. We teach to the middle students and try to bring up the lower students, but in the process we bring down those exemplary students too. So now we're going to free it up. Everybody works at their own pace, and we're going to provide enrichment activities for those students who really need it and who would thrive from that. So these are ways that you could implement the flipped video, and like I said, I really challenge you guys to implement this in your classroom this year.